In this video, we will take a look at some of the common basic tools that you can use to help you out with things like measurements inside of Photoshop and some other things. So under the eyedropper tool, the sixth tool down in the toolbar, we have three tools here: the ruler tool, the note tool, and the count tool. And we're just going to take a quick look at all three of them. They're all pretty basic. So with the ruler tool, we can check out measurements and distances, and we can see angles and things like that. So whenever I click and drag, we basically create a ruler. And as I move the ruler around, if you look at the options bar at the top, it's going to change the information. So this shows us where we laid our first point, X at 141, Y at 157. We can show the width and the height. So if I have it really small, we can see that we're almost at 0. And then as I scale out, we can see the width here. So almost 1,000 pixels on the width here. We can show the height of up and down. So when we actually go down, it's going positive. So that's how the documents are usually shown inside of Photoshop. It counts from the top left to the bottom right. So as we go down, you can see the height is 700, or it can be in the negatives, negative 250. We can show the angle. So when we are flat across, we have a 0-degree angle. And as we move around, well, as actually we move at counterclockwise direction, we see the angle changing. So when we get straight up and down, it's 90 degrees, all the way over is 180, and then we get into the negatives. Then we have the length. So the length will tell you how many pixels wide you are. So here we are at 159.77 pixels wide. This is different than the width and height. The width and height is showing where we're going, the actual location of our second dot. The length is showing how long that is. So if I go like this, you can see the length is 868 pixels, but the width is only 860. Let's see if I can do a better. There we go. So this length, well, there we go. This length is 1,935, but the width's only 1,637. So that shows us the length here. And the use measurement scale is just going to allow you to use a scaling factor if you need that for smaller increments. So the ruler is very handy because it can do all kinds of things for us. We can use a ruler to see the angle that these objects are sitting on. So we can see that this angle is about 18 degrees. We can see how long it is from one thing to another. So from this object to this object, we can see that that is 221 pixels, and it just gives us some nice information. The other thing that the ruler will do is it will straighten out an image for you or layer for you, and this is pretty common too. Say we love this image, but we hate the way that it's actually at this 18-degree angle and we want it to be flat. Well, all we do is we can use the ruler, and it doesn't matter how long, but you draw the angle of which everything is going. So if you imagine all these objects are sitting on this line where I've drawn this ruler, that is the angle that we're at. If I go to the top and I click on straighten layer, it's going to actually straighten out the image for us. So now it doesn't fill in the information around it, so we're either going to have to crop this or figure out another way to fill in the rest of this information, but we are able to easily straighten out an image the way that we want to inside of the program. So let's take a look at the next tool. That is the note tool. The note tool will allow you to leave notes inside of the document. This is great if you need to leave yourself a note, or maybe you're working on a project with other people and you want to leave a note for them. You can do that with this tool. So we just click anywhere on the document, it drops a note. We can give it an author, so we can call this, Jeremy wrote this one, can't type today. We can change the color of the note, and we can clear the notes if we want to. And here we can type in the note. So this is a note. And we have that note there, so we can keep working, and that note will be there for us. We can always click on it and view it later at a later time. So you can set up notes around your document for you to remind you to do stuff, or to make any edits later on, or fix something. Or if you're working in a team, you have that ability to have those notes. And to get rid of it, we can just click on it, grab that note tool, and hit clear all, and it'll delete that note out for us. The final tool is a count tool, and this is really basic, but it does just that. It counts things in your document. So if I didn't know how many we had here, I could just click one, and I don't even have to count, but it counts it for us. So there's 5 there. We see that count at the top. We can have count groups. So if there's different groups of items you want to count separately, you can create those groups. We can clear them out. We can change the color. So if we're using a blue background and it's hard to see, or maybe we do something, let's pick probably red. Red usually stands out pretty good. So we can change the marker size. So if we can't see this, we can make them bigger. We can change the label size. So the marker is a little dot, and then the label is the number. So we can go in and we can create new groups, and we can count things. You know, if you don't have a lot of items, that might not be important to you, but if you have 84 things that you need to count in a picture, this is an easy way to do that, because you can just go through and just click on them, and it will count for you, and you don't have to spend your time sitting there counting and remembering each one of those objects. So those are 3 tools inside of Photoshop that just makes life a little easier once you start using them and can find ways to use them. Hopefully they will help you out.